of our Pro wings this year come with Shiftlock. So Shiftlock was what we brought in on the Nova Pro, and now we've got it across the range, all the Pro wings. So we can talk a bit more about what's unique about the Shiftlock system.
Let's see that action, Bobby.
I'd love to see more about this sliding action with the Shiftlock.
Look at that.
What is going on here, man? Like, we can move it back,
only adjustable
move it
boom,
forward.
Right? I haven't seen it all.
Never seen anything like this before. And look, I can still grip it. That's cool.
So we shift.
Yeah.
Can we lock it?
Can I lock it?
So all you got to do, if you ever want to change anything foil related with North, you only need one tool, and that's the Torx T40. That'll do all of our foil range. It'll do your Shiftlock handles, whatever you need to do. So that's pretty handy. So now it's sliding backwards and forwards. Maybe you can do it. All you got to do is lock it off a single rotation, and then you want these two clamps to be touching the inside, and then you're going to lock it in place.
So this is just twisting this guy.
Yeah, that one looks like it was undone a little more than that, but
yeah.
When you've got it up full tight, all you need to do is back it off 1 to 2 turns, and then it's going to slide.
Cool, so that's fully tight there.
Yep.
Back it off a little bit.
That's quite unique, is that when rigid handles first came out, everyone was worried about damaging their boards, you know, when you're climbing up onto your board. So we've got this ribbing here. This is a soft TPU, and so that's going to take, if it's impacted against the board, it's going to reduce or pretty much mitigate any damage on your board. The other thing it does is it gives you quite a tactile feel if you're riding pistol grip, and we added this little thumb dimple in here even. That's just the ultimate comfort. And I will show you, I think what we should do is take these off, and we can show putting rigid handles on as well.
Yeah, I'd love to see the process of taking these handles off and how difficult it is, or easy, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Another thing to point out is that we have like this guide here. So when you do find your sweet spot, then you can remember, like I like that on 00, or I liked it at 05, or whatever. So it's just a bit of an indication.
It can be a brainless operation.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping.
Man.
So we need.
That's what I need. I need to know exactly where. So does it come
so
all the way off, or
to remove it, yeah, you want to just
Uh-huh.
loosen it like that, and that's enough. So if you look there, the end of the bolt is lining up with the overmolded nut there.
Okay.
That's enough, and then you can just pull it off.
Whoa.
So that's as much as you'll ever have to undo it. It's from being tight, it's 4 revolutions out, complete revolutions. And then to put it back on, if you never have to take, once you get it, you put it together like this, and you never have to remove that screw out again.
Whoa.
And then to put it back on, it's just push down and tighten it up. But let's continue taking this off. Jump in a bit there, that's 2, 3, and 4. And so that's enough to then pull it off.
That just popped right
So
off.
if I was going traveling or something like that, I would probably tighten that right up so it just didn't rattle around in your car and you lost something. I know a lot of people are really enjoying the booms now, which is super cool, because the boom is actually our lightest setup, and it's also the cheapest way. To get one boom is actually cheaper than getting 2 handles. But because you only have 2 attachment points, it's also the lightest setup. Yeah. But some of the
stiffer strut too, by
it
chance?
does, yeah. Yep, that's another good benefit. Obviously there's the negatives would be the portability. Obviously it's longer if you leave it on there. But we do accommodate that on all of our 25 wings. We've got extendable bags. You can see here, this one's got a boom inside it. Yeah. So that's really cool. You can just pack it away in there.
Just look how easy that is to pack. It just unzips all the way down.
And just a little point about our bags, like this is all recycled PET material, and even our webbing, this is made all from recycled materials. So yeah, we're just trying to do wherever we can, you know, without compromising the performance of our products. We're trying to, you know, do our bit wherever we can.
Before you put it on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
just
just
lined up.
Yep, that looks good.
That one's lined up.
Yeah, cool. While we've got it off, maybe we can talk about the grip a bit. So we've developed this to be, we've actually taken the technology from the Navigator Pro, and so we've got this finger bar here, and what that does is it gives you a lot of comfort because it's not rigid, it's compressible. So when you're riding a wing, you generally, like, I think it's better to ride with a claw rather than fully gripping it. So you've got that nice soft spot that your fingers will just kind of embed into. But what it does do is it gives you more torsional control. So if that was dead round, it's going to slip in your hands.
Unless you lose this stuff.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
So the left to the right is a whole lot easier to control, you're saying, with this handle now.
For sure.
That is so awesome.
And then we've got quite a unique construction to this as well. So we actually stitch it together. It's kind of wakeboard bar style. And most other brands will actually have the EVA grip going around, and then they'll lap it over, and then they'll sand off the seam.
So this is a harder, better manufacturing process to put the handle on this way.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
We've been trying to work on making a more robust grip for a long time.
I like robust, you know. I like it when I buy really nice things and they last a long time, you know. It's a good feeling, and every time I jump on something like this, it just lasts a really long time.
Yeah.
Products, what's going on with them. So if I'm doing this right, I just kind of like take it and just push?
Yep, that's the
like
one.
that?
And what I find is if you slide it backwards and forwards, it helps it seat in there. So just give it one of those and then check they're all on the rails. So we're just going to put on kind of the other end of the spectrum. So we had the 1100 boom on there, but now we're going to put on a 400mm boom on the front, which just enables you, you know, when you're going from the front handle to grab. And then we're going to go right down to the little 250. So that's just 250mm handle.
So for the
on
guy
the rear.
that's, you know, maybe this is their first wing and they've never bought a wing before and they're just super wondering about handle placement. Is there like what you'd consider like a neutral best place to just start as ground zero with this setup?
That's a really good point, because we soon noticed that when we were designing this, we were like, well, you know, what's your beginner going to know? They're not going to know where they go. So we've actually marked these on the strut itself. So we have a rear handle center, and so that's just a spot that you can put it. So we're going to line that up with there, and this will be exactly where our grip lock handles used to be on all the sizes. And then with this one, we're going to go around about the center here. So as long as you can get your hand there and there, that's going to be the balance point of every wing we make. And then from there, you can decide yourself. Like we've actually made, like if you're using the smaller handles and you ride with a harness, obviously the harness loop's going to be a longer distance. So this year we have a 30-inch as well. We used to have 22 and 26.
Oh, that's awesome.
We now have the 30-inch. So I really like that, because that also,
because it gets it lower.
Yeah, and then you can really straighten your back arm, because when I'm riding like this, I get cramped rear arm.
Yeah.
So
and
now
you
you can
bring
just
it
be
all
back.
the way back out now and freaking finger it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Love
light
finger in the
fingers.
finger. Yeah, love with the fingers.
You got it. Yeah, so we're just going to push that on, and let's go centers, just because we might not be sure. So we're gonna.
So I see you really working it there. What are you feeling for when you're trying to like get that guy seated?
I'm just wanting to see that all of these are right on the piping there, you know, because
so I'm looking for that little pipe to line up with that.
Yeah.
That circular guy.
And we have done tests of actually taking one side off completely and riding with it just on one, and it's still fine even. That's a really extreme case. But and we also did load testing like that. So we had in our load testing machine, we loaded one of these up to over 800 kgs, and the whole strut was like a, you know, it was like a huge bend, and we were all...
It was a huge hammock.
It still didn't pull off, and so that's a huge testament to the Shiftlock construction.
That's incredible. So you're never going to be really concerned about this ripping out.
This construction has actually been something that's been done in the sailing industry for about 50 years. It's what they run up their mast to pull their sails up and down. So what better company to know, you know, this system inside out.
So you're saying if it's good enough for a boat, it's good enough for me.
Well, they go through much higher loads than we're ever going to put on it. Yeah. I think you mentioned before, because you've obviously got a school, you were saying that it's good, you know, for someone who's never ridden before, they've got somewhere to aim.
Yeah, it gives them a place to look and find and know where neutral, it seems like, is. So it's so interesting with the boom. People just don't. It seems like they don't know where to put their hands. So,
yeah.
And it's kind of cool because the handle just gives a place for people to just go-to.
Yeah, yeah. If you aim for the center, then
Aim for
it's
the
good.
center and it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
And being able to know that, like, if I move my hand to the front of the handle, it's gonna be less power.
Yeah.
Or I move my hands to the back of the handles, I'm gonna have more power. Just knowing that there's a limiting factor to it, and that just seems like it makes it more, I don't know.
Yeah, more intuitive.
Intuitive.
Another cool thing that we've done in the past is we've balanced all of our wings. So if you go off those sizes, if you fly it with your hand on the back of the front handle, that's the balance point. And so if you go to any north wing and you go to the back of the handle, front handle, that's why traditionally,
It's always gonna be
yeah,
balanced.
our handles were a little bit longer, our grip lock handles
Yeah,
that
the
we
front
still
handle.
use. But it's got two things. You get that balance point with one hand, which is, you know, sometimes when you're chop hopping, we don't all get to ride perfect down the line waves.
Yeah,
But
but you're
if-
sometimes having to hold it by the back of the front handle.
Yeah, but you don't want to go to
Yeah.
the toe handle, because you know that you're only going to have like a 2 or 3 second ride before you go back again. So you can just go like that, and you can carve your chop and feel like
Grab the chop a little bit, bring her back
yeah.
down.
And then it's just a simple slide back into the powered position.
So,
But the reason I like this setup
Uh-huh.
is because I can ride pistol grip at the front of the rear handle and the back of the front handle, and that is just the most locked feeling and the most control I can ever have over the wing. And I can just nestle my thumbs into there and there, and that for me is just a really solid feeling. And though, you know, with a boom, it's awesome that you can go everywhere, but I think it's just important to
get
talk
that.
about some of the benefits, you know, of having the separate handles
bicycle
still.
grip, locked in feeling.
Yeah.
So this in-weave material, it's really cool. You've had it for a couple of years now. Some people know some stuff about it. Some other people think it's Dacron.
Yeah, it's definitely not Dacron.
It's definitely not Dacron.
So in-weave there's a lot of materials that have actually come from just say the bag industry or something that we use on kites and wings. This material's been specifically developed by the North Technology group for winging. And so a lot of people have been like, why don't they just put them in kites? It's not developed for kites. It was designed to be as stiff as possible, where we want it to be stiff, and with a wing you want stiffness most places. And one of the benefits is we started with the in-weave, and then by adding the 45, we actually increased the stiffness even further. So that was in the second year, and we're already working on various more editions of where the in-weave's going to go. So by having our own in-house material development, we can just keep on evolving it until, I don't know whether it's ever perfect, but you know, we don't have to wait for what's available. We can just keep on iterating it and making it better and better and better.
You talked about the strength and stuff. Could you elaborate a little more on that? You know, we play with foils and stuff, and they're really
Yep,
sharp.
For sure. So the puncture resistance of this material is phenomenal. Like, it's better than anything on
So
the
you're
market.
saying I can smack this with my foil and I might actually survive? My wing might survive.
I've done it. Yeah. I mean, obviously,
Oh, that's awesome.
If you hit it hard enough and you split
Yep.
the Dyneema weave apart and you get the bladder, then I think anything would have blown. But you're going to get away with so many impact. Yeah, the puncture resistance of this is just incredible. But the other thing we're able to do with it is the price is like under half the price of some of the other composites out there. And the stiffness is
Still there.
yeah, is very close. Range, all the Pro wings. So there's the Mode Pro. This is a new device that's also come out, and we'll continue to bring lots of different accessories that will work on this. So they'll be retrofittable to any shift locks, and if there's anything that comes in the future, if we all start thinking, oh well, booms are whack, we want, you know, something else, then you're going to be able to retrofit it to your own wing. So, but this is really cool. This is for the downwinders, and so this is called the Shiftlock paddle mount. And so if you're wanting to do a downwind, you can actually put your paddle on, park your car, go upwind as far as you want, and then pack up your wing, grab your paddle, and then downwind back to where your car was. So you no longer need someone shuttling you up or picking you up somewhere. You can do it all.
Shove it into my back pants or something. So
Yep,
you're saying I
yep.
can now pack it down and put it in my backpack.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah.
Shiftlock is
The
foldable,
Shiftlock
like this
is the
actual
system.
track here.
Yeah, this is flexible. It's flexible enough to pack down your kite like you normally would, or your wing. but it does actually stiffen the wing as well by having this on there, which is an added benefit. Another thing you can do with paddle mounts is you can use 2 of them back here with a regular boom or handles, and then you could run your action camera with a carbon mount off the back if you wanted to. Or if you just want to put, you know, your GoPro or your whichever device you want, you can put it on the back or the front of the Shiftlock, and so you don't need to be tying things off. And then we have these little holes on our regular handles. I can show you on this one, where you could put a lanyard or something you could tie off if you're worried you might lose your camera. So yeah, and then you can use that for who knows in the future. It's all
I
over.
got the raspy. I got the.
Let's hear it.
I've been out too much and doing this stuff, and I can tell you all about it. I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna get right into it, and we'll make it happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen real good. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it all done. It's gonna get done real good. Real good.